Summer heat doesn't just wreak havoc on your skin, it can damage your eyes. Joining us now is ophthalmologist Dr. Russo. Welcome to Bloom, doctor.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
I think most people think all they need to do is slap on a pair of sunglasses, which is important, but do you recommend any specific type?
Yeah, most sunglasses that you'll buy in a reputable store are UVA and UVB blocked. You need glasses that have complete ultraviolet protection, right? So anything from a major manufacturer that you buy in a Sunglass Hut or Bloomingdale's or wherever you might buy a pair of sunglasses is adequate. It needs coverage from both UVA and UVB. You can just check or ask the salesperson to make sure that that's the case. But people that might buy very cheap sunglasses on the street or I don't know what, maybe they wouldn't be have the adequate ultraviolet protection. But anything from a reputable store, and it doesn't have to be a $300 or $500 pair of glasses. Just a simple, $50 or $60 pair of glasses would do the trick. And the bigger the better.
And I didn't realize that keeping hydrated was an important role for your eye health.
It is in general, any time of year, but especially in the summer, because the excessive heat you can see throughout the country, and certainly in more areas more so than others, leads to a lot of evaporation of the tears, right? Tear evaporation, and can really lead to dry eyes, sensitive eyes, in some cases almost sunburned eyes. And that sounds crazy, but that can happen. So artificial tears and hydration are both very important.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about ways to lubricate the eyes with eye drops. What do you recommend?
Depends on how frequently they're being done. If people are just using their, throughout the year or in the summer, artificial tears, bottle formulations are okay. Some of the reputable brands, Blink, Sustain, Optive, the brands you'll see in any CVS or Duane Reade throughout the country. Technically, the non-preserved tears, you'll see that when you look at the in the tear aisle, there are preservative-free tears. If you're going to be using them more frequently, a lot of people have dry eyes. Like 20% of all eye doctor visits are related to dry eyes. If you're going to be using them more than more frequently than every 2 hours or so, you might want to use the preservative-free tears, which you'll always see in the tear drop aisle. Otherwise, the bottle formulations are also more than acceptable. They're easier to use. You can carry them in your purse as opposed to the preservative tears, which are usually in the little single dose vials, clear vials.
Okay, all right, good to know. You also warned that we really need to be careful when applying sunscreen on our faces.
It's true. The skin around the eye is quite delicate and can be susceptible to chemical burn, believe it or not, from a lot of just you're going to put a non, just a regular commercially available sunscreen, you can actually burn the sensitive area of the skin around the eyelashes, around the eyelids. So that's one issue with putting on sunscreen. And also, it plays into the sunglass thing. The skin around the eyelids is very sensitive. Sensitive to getting burned from SPF, also sensitive to sun. And it's, an area where over time, certain skin cancers can develop in that sensitive area. So, I would avoid sunscreen right on the eyelids or too close to the eyelid, and sunglasses, throughout the summer. And the larger, the better.
And then, we should probably, even for our skin, avoid going out during that midday sun when it's really blazing. Does the same hold true for our eyes?
Yeah, that's just what it is. That's obviously when the sun is at its peak strength, and the ultraviolet lights are the most harmful during that time. So if you can, it's a good time to avoid. Or also you can wear a hat with your sunglasses. Sounds extreme, but makes a big difference in cutting down the exposure, especially during peak times.
These are all great tips. I wanted to ask you, and I'm guilty of this myself. I need to get in and get an eye exam, but during COVID, a lot of us got out of our routine. How often should adults and children be getting their eyes examined?
If you're a healthy person without any underlying, medical problems, diabetes or hypertension or autoimmune disorders, various things, every 2 years is fine. Obviously, those with ongoing issues that need to be managed related to diabetes or glaucoma and other things can be on a much more frequent schedule. But just for a general health screening, as part of your overall health maintenance, every 2 years is adequate.
All right, well, doctor, I can't thank you enough for joining us on Bloom. I know you're a very busy man, so I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
And I have more summer eye tips for you online. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.